So very good evening, dear students. So we'll have this discussion of this mock paper, which can be utilized for NEET or for KCET. So we'll begin with the biology part of discussion. So the first question that they have given is, so the superficial outgrowth of stem or leaves that does not possess vascular cylinder and becomes thick due to deposition of silica or calcium carbonate is. So the superficial outgrowth of stem or leaves that does not possess vascular cylinder and becomes thick due to deposition of silica or calcium carbonate is. So is it prickles, spines, bristles, or is it thorns? So what is the answer that you wrote for it? See the 46, the answer is prickles is the correct answer. See, thorns, they have the vascular supply. Prickles, they don't have this vascular supply. So there is a deposition of silica or calcium carbonate. So it is at the outgrowth of stem or leaves, which does not have the vascular cylinder. So the prickles are the right answer for it. Okay. So the next question that we have is, so the Cocoloba or Muhlenbeckia furnishes good example of. See, the answer is it's a phylloclade along with that of Opentia. So Muhlenbeckia is dorsoventrally flattened. It is not succulent like Opentia or cactus, but it is dorsoventrally flattened. So Cocoloba, so Muhlenbeckia furnishes good example for the phylloclade. Okay, 47, the answer is Muhlenbeckia. Okay, the next one that we have is, see, in pinnately compound leaves, leaves have, so in pinnately compound leaves, so leaflets have axillary buds. A constriction is present between a leaflet and petiole. Arachis is absent. A rachis is absent. All leaflets are not jointed to a common point. So in pinnately compound leaves, what do you notice? So pinnately compound leaf, it is leaflets have axillary buds. That is not possible. A constriction is present between leaflet and petiole. So arachis is absent. All leaflets are not joined to a common point. So what is the right answer for this 48th is, so they are all leaflets are not joined to a common point is the answer. Okay, so 1 minute. So in grasses, an outgrowth is present below the leaf base and lamina. So what do we call this outgrowth as? In grasses, there is an outgrowth present below the leaf base and lamina. So is it called as stipule, pulvinus, or is it ligule or stiples? So the 49th question. Okay. So the answer for this in it is 49th is ligure. In grasses, an outgrowth is present. It is not in any leaves that they have given. Even initially, I was thinking about stipule, but in grasses, an outgrowth is present below leaf base and lamina. So it is called as ligule. So ligulate leaves. So we have those terms. So ligule is the answer for it. Okay. So the 50th question, verticillin inflorescence is the characteristic of family. compositae, labiatae, cruciferae, solanaceae. See, verticelaster inflorescence is a special type of inflorescence. You find this in I had told you about the example of Leucas aspera, okay, or the tumbe uva, the white colored tumbe gida. So bilabiate they have. So labiate is the correct answer. Verticilluster inflorescence is the characteristic of family labiate. So the special type of inflorescence, three types are there: cyatium, verticilluster, and hypanthodium type of inflorescence. So remember about this. Verticilluster example is tumbe gida, labiate. Okay. So 51st, so study the following columns and choose the correct match. So gallflowers, spike, involucre, spathe, lemma. Okay. So gallflowers, you find it in hypanthodium. Hypanthodium is a fig fruit. So the sterile female flowers, we call it as gallflowers in case of hypanthodium of Athihannu or Anjura. So involucre of bracts, you find it in spadix inflorescence. Involucre, you find it in spikelet. Okay. So spathe, you find it in spadix inflorescence. So A is gallflowers, you find it in two. So these are the two options that they have given. B, involucre. So involucre of bracts, so the collection of bracts. So involucre in cyathium is there. So A2, B3, C is 4, spadix, that is correct. D1, so lemma is found in spikelet. So this third option is correct. So 51st, third option is correct. Okay. Arrangement and distribution of flower over a plant is called. So what do you call the arrangement and distribution of flower over a plant? Do we call it as placentation? That is wrong. Vernation, that is also wrong. Inflorescence or estivation. So it is inflorescence. So 52nd, the answer is third one is the answer. Okay. 53rd, which of the following is not an edible inflorescence? So they have given spadix in female maize, verticilluster in salvia, okay, catkin in morus alba, undeveloped corymb in cauliflower. So which of the following is not an edible inflorescence? So the verticilluster in salvia is not an edible inflorescence, whereas spadix in female maize, so they are edible. Catkin in this Morus alba is mulberry plant. So you might have seen those small fruits. Okay, so that small fruits are edible. Undeveloped corymb in cauliflower is also edible. So second one is not an edible inflorescence. So 53rd, second one is the answer. So it's not an edible inflorescence. Verticilluster in salvia. Okay, next one is inflorescence that looks like solitary flower is verticilluster, cyathium, spike, catkin. So when inflorescence that looks like a solitary flower is cyathium inflorescence. It looks like a single flower. Okay, but it is not single flower. It's a inflorescence, special type of inflorescence. So cyathium is the answer. So 54th, the answer is cyathium. So C is the inflorescence that looks like a solitary flower. Excuse me. So solitary flower implies like a single flower. So it spike is like Uttrani. You can notice the spike. Verticilluster. It looks the special type of inflorescence. So cyathium looks like a solitary flower than spike, but they have given the answer as spike. Okay. So inflorescence that looks like a solitary flower is cyathium. So please mark it. So the third spike is wrong in this. So in which of the following inflorescence fleshy receptacle follows a hollow forms a hollow cavity with an apical opening, and flowers are developed on inner wall of the hollow cavity. So fleshy receptacle forms a hollow cavity. It is found in fig fruit. So 55th, hypanthodium is the answer. So 55th, so fleshy receptacle forms a hollow cavity with an apical opening, and flowers are developed on inner wall of the hollow cavity. So is it cyathium, capitate, hypanthodium, or verticilluster inflorescence? So the hypanthodium is the correct one. So 55th is third one is the answer. So 56th question. An inflorescence with a single female flower surrounded by several male flowers with a nectar secreting gland at the rim of cup-shaped involucre is called cyathium inflorescence. So it has a single female flower surrounded by many male flowers. So they are naked flowers because they do not have sepals and petals. So cyathium is the right answer. So 56th, third one is the right answer. Okay. 57th, spikelet is the characteristic inflorescence of the family Orchidaceae, Poaceae, Asteraceae, Solanaceae. So it is the Poaceae grass family you find the spikelets. So 57th, the answer is B, Poaceae. Second one is the right answer. Anthotaxy. What is anthotaxy? So 58th, anthotaxy is arrangement of veins on the lamina, venation, we call it a arrangement of leaves on the stem, phyllotaxy, folding of leaves in bud. Okay, that is also not the condition of anthotaxy. Arrangement of flowers, we call it as anthotaxy. 58th, fourth one is the correct answer. Naked, pedicellate, tricarpellary female flower surrounded by many naked female flowers. Male flowers is characteristic of cyathium inflorescence. So 59, the answer is cyathium inflorescence. It's a special type of inflorescence. I have a video on this inflorescence also, so you can check it in the verticilluster hypanthodium cyathium. See, these are questions that you get it from the outside of the syllabus. Some of the questions that are going to be there, they are going to be given from this. Okay, so you should be careful with this questions. In racemose inflorescence, flowers are borne laterally in a basipetal order, basally in a cluster, terminally in a cluster, laterally in an acropetal succession. 60th, fourth one is the answer. So fourth one is the answer for the 60th question. So 61st, in which plant inflorescence receptacle becomes fleshy and hollow and bears flowers? Is it orange, pomegranate, fig, or banana? The answer is fig fruit, hypanthodium. So the same question they have asked it in an indirect way. ಈ ಹತ್ತಿ ಹಣ್ಣು ಅಥವಾ ಅಂಜೂರ, if you break open it, you find the fleshy part is the receptacle which we are eating. So they are hollow also and they bear flowers. So the receptacle will be having the inner flowers. Three types of flowers are there: male, female, and gall flowers. Gall flowers are sterile female flowers. So 61st, third one is the answer. Fig fruit is the right answer. Okay. So match the incorrect pair. Superior ovary, mustard. Half inferior ovary, plum, rose, peach. Inferior ovary, guava and cucumber, and the ray florets of sunflower. Epigynous flowers, that is, so the inferior ovary they have given here, China rose and brinjal. So epigynous is above the ovary. So the ovary will be inferior. So the sepals petals they arise above the petals. So China rose and brinjal are wrong answers for it. Okay. So they match the incorrect pair. Superior ovary, mustard. Half inferior ovary, it is correct. Inferior ovary is also correct. Fourth one is the incorrect pair. So fourth one, 62nd, fourth one is the incorrect pair. So match incorrect pair. So again, it's a similar question. Superior ovary, there is mustard, China rose, brinjal, peach. Okay, so the incorrect pair would be peach because peach is having how the semi-inferior ovary. Okay, so peach is the since only peach is there, this is the incorrect answer. So 63rd. So the first one is the answer. So incorrect pair is superior ovary. Mustard, China rose, brinjal, they have superior ovary. But peach is semi-inferior. They belong to sunflower family. So peach is the odd one out. So the incorrect pair is first one. In epigynous flowers, that is flowers in which the calyx and sepala arise above the ovary. Ovary is inferior. So the margin of thalamus grows upwards, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. The other parts of flower arise above the ovary. So that is a correct statement. The gynoecium occupies the highest position, whereas the other parts are situated below it. This is wrong statement. Gynoecium is situated in the center, and other parts of the flowers are located on the rim of the thalamus. This is epigynous definition. More than one options are correct. So that is also wrong. So the first statement, 64th, first statement is correct about epigynous flower or inferior ovary. So 64th, first one is the answer. Okay. 65th question, select an incorrect match. Valvate estivation, Calotropis. Twisted estivation, China rose, lady's finger, and cotton, Malvaceae family. They have the twisted estivation. Imbricate estivation, Gulmohar. So Gulmohar tree. So not a wrong one. So vexillary estivation, pea and bean and cassia. So imbricate estivation, Gulmohar. Valvate estivation, Calotropis. So the right answer for the incorrect match for 65th is the fourth one, vexillary estivation, P and B, but not in case of cassia. Cassia belongs to Cisalpinaceae, so they do not have vexillary estivation. P and B is right, but cassia is wrong match for that. So fourth one is the incorrect match. In pea flowers, there are 5 petals. The largest A overlaps the two lateral petals B, which in turn overlaps the two smallest anterior petals C. Name A, B, and C. C, largest is standard. So this is Papilionaceous corolla, the labeling part of it. You can expect such indirect question. A is standard. Okay. So B, so a pair of wings. So B is wings. C is keel. So A is standard, B is wing, C is keel. So third one is the correct choice there. So 66th, the answer is third one. 67th, select an incorrect match. So epipetalous. So the stamens are attached to the petals. Epipetalous brinjal they have given. Epiphyllus lily. Monoadelphus, China rose, single bundle, that is correct. Diadelphus citrus. See, the first three options are correct. Epipetalus, you notice in brinjal, which belongs to Solanaceae. Epiphyllus in Liliaceae family, you come across where stamens are attached to tepals. So we call it as epiphyllus. Monoadelphus, single bundle of stamens. You find it in case of Daswala or China rose. Diadelphus citrus is wrong. Polyadelphus is the nature in citrus. So fourth one is the incorrect match. So 67th, fourth is the incorrect match. 68, there may be a variation in the length of filaments within a flower as in. So variation in the length of filaments. So it can be tetradynamous, didynamous condition. So mustard and pea, they have given example. Salvia and mustard. Pea and mustard, salvia and pea. See, pea plant length of filaments remain the same. They are diadelphous. Mustard plant has tetradynamous. Salvia plant has this lever mechanism. Okay, so the correct combination would be length of filaments within a flower is salvia and mustard might be the correct combination. Mustard has tetradynamous. Okay, so salvia and mustard is the correct answer. Salvia has lever mechanism. Okay. So select an incorrect statement for gynoecium. In lotus and rose, apocarpus ovary is present. Okay, that is wrong. In mustard and tomato, syncarpus ovary is present. So syncarpus, yes, they are fused. After fertilization, the ovules develop into fruits and the ovary matures into a seed. So stigma in lotus and rose, apocarpus ovary is present, so the carpels are free, fine with it. So the uh, after fertilization, the ovule develops into fruits and the ovary matures into a seed. This is the wrong statement. Stigma is usually at the tip of the style. So 69th, third one is the incorrect statement. So 69th, third one is the incorrect statement. 70th, select an incorrect statement. In marginal placentation, the ovules are born on the ridge forming two rows. So in marginal placentation, the ovules are born. So that is a correct statement. When the ovules are born on central axis and septa are absent, the placentation is free central. That is also correct. In basal placentation, the placenta develops at the base of ovary. So this is also correct. False septum is found in mustard, primrose, and argemone. See, false septum is found in mustard and argemone, but not in primrose. So that is the wrong option. So false septum called as replum is found in mustard and argemone, but not in primrose. Okay. So the 70th fourth statement is incorrect statement. 71st, which of the following animal possess neuron but lack brain? So they possess neuron but lack brain. Hydra, mantis, ferretima, periplaneta. So is a cockroach ferretima. So and hydra and mantis, praying mantis. So which of the following animal possess neuron but lack brain? So the 71st, the first option, Hydra possesses neuron but does lacks brain. 72nd option, the central nervous system is absent in animals that have radial symmetry. So the central nervous system is absent in animals that are having radial symmetry. So remember about that. 72nd is fourth. 73rd question. So through efferent nerve fibers transmit impulses from tissues or organs to the central nervous system, comprises of all the nerves of the body associated with central nervous system. With the help of somatic neural system, transmits impulses from the CNS to involuntary organs and smooth muscles. So through our autonomic neural system relays impulses from CNS to skeletal muscles. So the peripheral nervous system comprises of all the nerves of the body associated with central nervous system. So 73rd, the B is the correct answer. So second one is the correct answer. So 74th, match the following. So you have this option of match the columns. So unipolar neuron. So unipolar neuron. So where is it located? Cerebral cortex, retina of eye, embryonic stage usually. So A is 3. So let us see how many options have A is 3. So 3 options are there. B, so multipolar neurons, cerebral cortex, they are found. So A is 3, B is 1. How many options are there? So only one option is there. A is 3, B is 1, C is 4, D is 2. So pseudo unipolar uh, neuron, you find it in dorsal root ganglion. Bipolar neurons, you find it in retina of eye. So unipolar neuron are seen only in the embryonic stage, multipolar neuron in the cerebral cortex. So pseudo unipolar neuron, so they are seen in the dorsal root ganglion. Bipolar neurons are found in the retina of eye. So 74th, C is the correct answer. So find out which of the following statements are true or false and choose the correct option. So the myelin sheath is produced by Schwann cells. In the myelinated nerve fibers, the myelin sheath is present around the axons and cell body. Okay, a multipolar neuron has one axon and two or more dendrites. So it has one axon and two or more dendrites. The axon of neuron is a long fiber, the proximal end of which is branched. Okay, so here a multipolar neuron has axon. So this is third statement is correct. The myelin sheath is produced by. So here, so the correct option for this four sentences. It's a unique question, so very rarely we can notice this type, but you should be prepared if they ask it during the uh, examination. So the 75th, the answer is C. So first one is true. Second one is false because the cyton is not covered by myelinated sheet. Third one, it is true. Fourth one is false. So C is the answer. So fourth one is false. The axon of neuron is a long fiber. So the proximal end of which is branched. So the distal end of which is branched. Okay. So third option is the correct one. Fourth statement is wrong. Second statement is wrong. One and three are correct. So this is the correct option. So increased activity of the sympathetic nervous system leads to decreased heart rate, increased secretion by pancreas, or increased secretion by gallbladders, increased relaxation of airways in the lungs. So, increased activity of the sympathetic nervous system. So, they are going to, so adrenaline is going to be secreted in this activity in coordination with that. So, what is going to happen in this particular state? Okay. So the 76th, the answer is so relaxation of airways in the lungs. So increased activity of the sympathetic nervous system leads to relaxation of airways in the lungs. So which of the following is true for a resting neuron? So it is negatively charged on the inner side and positively charged on the outer side. It is polarized. It is more permeable to sodium ion and nearly impermeable to potassium ion. So the 77th, the answer is fourth one. More than one option is true for a resting neuron. Okay. In neurons, a typical value of resting potential is. So what is the typical value of resting potential? So this is, I think, again out of the syllabus, the 78th question. So the answer is A, minus 70 microvolt. So a typical value of resting potential is minus 70 microvolt. The action potential propagation in myelinated neurons is faster than in unmyelinated neurons. So because of nodes of Ranvier, saltatory conduction, presence of myelin sheath, more than one option is correct. So the 79th, the answer is more than one option is correct. So the action potential propagation in myelinated neuron is faster than in unmyelinated neuron because of nodes of Ranvier, saltatory conduction, presence of myelin sheath. More than one option is correct in case of this 79th as far as myelinated neurons and action potential propagation is concerned. It is faster. Okay. An amino acid neurotransmitter that operates at inhibitory synapses in the brain is epinephrine or glutamate, or is it gamma aminobutyric acid GABA, or is it acetylcholine? So the answer is gamma aminobutyric acid. So this amino acid neurotransmitter that operates at inhibitory synapses in the brain is, so the GABA, that is gamma aminobutyric acid is the answer. So 81st, read the following statements and choose the correct sequence of events of transmission of impulses from one neuron to the next. So fusion of synaptic vesicles with presynaptic membrane and release of neurotransmitter into synaptic cleft, binding of neurotransmitter to the receptor present on postsynaptic membrane, action potential arrives at axon end, ion channels open allowing entry of ions which can generate new potential in the postsynaptic neuron, presynaptic membrane depolarizes. So what is the correct sequence of this entire step in this particular case? So the sequence is action potential arrives at axon end. Okay. Then building of neurotransmitter to the receptor present on postsynaptic membrane. So 3, 2, then there is the fourth one, ion channels open, allowing entry of ions which can generate a new potential in the postsynaptic neuron. So 3, 2, 4. Okay. Fifth one, presynaptic membrane depolarizes. And third one, so 3, 2, 4, 5. So it is, again, it is not third one. So the first option should be one, fusion of synaptic. So that is the one should be the fusion of synaptic vesicles with presynaptic membrane and a release of neurotransmitter into synaptic cleft. That should be the one. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 3 should be the correct sequence. There is a typographical error. So just go through it again. So there would be first fusion of synaptic vesicles. Then there is second one, binding of neurotransmitter to the receptor. Third one, so the fourth one, ion channels opening. Fifth one, so the presynaptic membrane depolarizes. Third one, action potential arrives at axon end. Okay, so this is 3, 2, 4, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. It should be, so that is the correct sequence. 81st C is the option. Okay, 82nd, or let us cross check again. So third one, action potential arrives at axon end. Then presynaptic membrane depolarizes. See, it should be the second one, 3, 5, 1, 2, 4. So 3, 5, 1, 2, 4. So the action potential arrives at axon end. So presynaptic membrane depolarizes. First one is fusion of synaptic vesicles with synaptic membrane and release of neurotransmitter into this. So 351 is over. Second one is binding of neurotransmitter to the receptor present on postsynaptic membrane. That is the fourth option. So 35124. So ion channels open, allowing entry of ions which can generate. So that should be the sequence. 35124. B is the correct option. 82nd, how many of the components given in the box belong to forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain? So forebrain. So what are all the things that they have given? Corpora quadrigemina, thalamus, medulla oblongata, medulla, hypothalamus, cerebrum, cerebellum, pons, cerebral aqueduct. So the forebrain, how many of them are there? Hindbrain, how many components? So you have medulla, pons, okay, the hindbrain part of it, cerebellum. So you have this three part of it there. The so forebrain is three, midbrain is two, and hindbrain is three. So let me. So that is what it is. 82. The answer is B. So forebrain is three in number. So you have this uh, cerebrum. Okay. Then you have this cerebral aqueduct. Okay. Corpora quadrigemina. So the thalamus and hypothalamus, they represents the midbrain. So B is the answer, F3M2H3. So 83rd, the association or areas of cerebral cortex are responsible for complex functions like memory, communication, intersensory association, or is it all of the above? So the association areas of cerebral cortex are responsible for all of these functions: memory, communication, intersensory, association. So they are involved with all these complex functions. Find out which of the following statements are true or false and choose the correct option. The medulla oblongata contains centers which control respiration, cardiovascular reflexes, and gastric secretions. So we have to find the correct statement and incorrect statement here. Okay. So the first statement is correct, true. Okay. So pons consists of fiber tracts that interconnects different regions of the brain. That is also true. Cerebellum has very convoluted surface to provide additional space for many neurons. That is also true. The medulla of brain is connected to the spinal cord. True. So all the four statements are true. So B is the correct answer for 84th. 84th, the second one is the correct option. Okay. So all the four statements are true. 85th question. During a reflex action, the afferent neuron receives signal from. Okay, during a reflex action, the afferent neuron receives signal from a sensory organ and transmits the impulse via dorsal root ganglion into the spinal cord. So the first one itself is correct. So during a reflex action, the afferent neuron receives signal from a sensory organ and transmits the impulse via a dorsal root ganglion into the spinal cord. So the first statement itself is correct. Okay. So identify the parts A, B, C, and D of human eye. Okay. So the B is aqueous chamber. So the labeling of A is aqueous chamber. Okay. Then there is cornea. B is cornea. C is iris. D is fovea. E is blind spot. So B is the correct labeling. So A is aqueous chamber. So B is cornea. C is iris. Okay. D is fovea. E is blind spot. Okay. So these are the correct options for the diagram. So this is a diagram oriented question. So you should also know the correct labeling of eye, human eye. So the second option is correct. So 86th. So the second option is correct. 87th. Arrange the following steps in sequence for the mechanism of vision. Okay. So the 87th question. So the following steps in sequence of mechanism of vision. So let us read it. Potential difference generated in the photoreceptor cells. So let us just go through this. Light rays in visible wavelength focused on retina. So first one, light rays in visible wavelength focused on retina. Okay. So that is the first step in sequence for mechanism of vision. Then activation of photopigments of rods and cones. That is the second part of it. So 5, 4, 3. Light induces the dissociation of the retinal from opsin, resulting in the changes. So 5, 4, 3, 6. That is membrane permeability of rods and cones changes. So 5436, one potential difference generated in the photoreceptor cells. So 54361, so 287. So this is the correct sequence. C is the answer for 87th. Okay, 87C is the answer. So 5, 4, 3. Then we have 6. So you should, such sort of questions are rare, but if they ask you the sequences, you write down at least 4 or 5, still you get the correct sequence in choices. Remaining, you can just, it is a obvious, the answer would be. So 5, 4, 3, and 6. So first 4 sequences, I've identified it correctly. So remaining will be, in the remaining 4 options, it is not appropriate. So 1, 2, 8, 7. So there is no rejection of cornea transplant in humans as it lacks blood supply, it is transparent, it lacks nerve fiber, it is a dead structure. There is no rejection of cornea transplant in humans. Why is that so? So 88th, it lacks blood supply. So as a result of it, there is no rejection of cornea transplant in humans since it lacks blood supply. Organ of Corti. Okay, so organ of Corti, hair cells, vestibular apparatus. Okay, so the vestibular apparatus are third one, osteolith organ and semicircular canals. They are vestibular apparatus. Okay, so organ of Corti, hair cells. So 2, 3 have identified. C, ampulla. So it is Crista ampullaris, eustachian tube. So it is pharynx. So D, eustachian tube. So there is A is organ of Corti 2. So A is 2, B is 3, C is 1, D is fourth, pharynx, eustachian tube, pharynx. So the option is D. Correct option is D. Organ of Corti, hair cells, vestibular apparatus. So osteolith organ and semicircular canals, ampulla, crista ampullaris, eustachian tube, pharynx. So D is the correct option. The transduction of sound waves into action potential takes place when hair cells are bent against the tectorial membrane, causing them to depolarize and release neurotransmitter that stimulates sensory neurons. So 90th, A is the correct option. So 90th A is the correct option. So the transduction of sound waves into action potential takes place whenever hair cells are bent against the tectorial membrane, causing them to depolarize and release neurotransmitter that stimulates sensory neurons. So the first statement is correct. So whenever there is a transduction of sound waves. Okay, so these are certain correct options that we have discussed. So I just wanted to clarify about uh, so the first one, 46th, I had given it as prickles. So the superficial outgrowths is prickles. So 46th, the next that I had given was uh, prickles. 47th, Muhlenbeckia furnishes good example of. So I just wanted to cross check this part of it. One minute, let me find out the Muhlenbeckia. As far as I remember, it is a phyllocade clade. See, phylloclade is correct answer. There is a typographical error, so I'm right. So the Muhlenbeckia is a phylloclade. So I remember it studying in the post graduation. So they are flattened, whereas Openshia is a little thicker. So Muhlenbeckia is flattened phylloclade. See, phylloclade is the stems are modified as leaf-like structure. Phylloid means any part of the leaf can take up the function of leaf. So that is not the answer. So 47th is third, even though your answer key has given it as phylloid. Okay. Then in pinnately compound leaves, leaflets have axillary buds. That is wrong. A constriction is present between leaflet and petiole. A rachis is absent. Okay. All leaflets are not joined to a common point. So that is the correct option, whereas all these are wrong. Okay. So in pinnately compound leaves, all leaflets are not joined to a common point. So then it would have become palmately compound leaves. So fourth one is correct, 48. Okay. In grasses and outgrowth, so ligules, so is present below the leaf base and lamina. So the answer for 49th is B. So the ligule they have given it as. Okay. Verticilluster inflorescence is a characteristic feature of family Labiatae. That is also correct. So we had discussed about it. So the gall flowers is found in Hypanthodium, involucre of bracts in Cyathium. So spathe, you find it in spadix, lemma in spikelet. So these are the correct answers that is there. So arrangement and distribution of flower over a plant is inflorescence, not the other definition. So edible, not an edible inflorescence is verticilluster in salvia. So they are all correct answers that we have discussed about. Okay, so fine. So any doubts or clarification, dear students, with whatever we have discussed today? Okay, I'll just put the session under, stop the record and then proceed for discussion.